Oh, all right. So, congratulations, I guess, to Todd and Candy. Not really, not so much. But this is the question I wanted to ask. These two got married. Candy is balling. She's an attractive, successful female, whatever. Her husband is well, her future, or they got married, so it is her husband now. I guess he was a producer of film or something like that. But anyways, this is my question. Not a real question, but just a rhetorical one. Would you, as a man, be with a woman who allows her mother to publicly disrespect you? Now, this two, I guess they have a reality show, and on the reality show, Candy's mother constantly is in her daughter's business, and she's constantly picking fights and causing drama between their relationship. And Candy, the issue to me though is that Candy allows it. She allows her mother to do these things. They even went on some show, which I'll show a clip later, where she was being mad disrespectful and embarrassing them. But my question is simply this: would you be with a woman that, you know, again, she's attractive, she's got her own money, she's balling. Candy actually has an empire. She's balling out of control. But would you tolerate? Would you tuck your balls in and deal with that disrespect from the mother, and think, well, she's gonna die in a few years anyways? Nah, seriously. Would you tolerate your wife allowing her mother to disrespect you publicly, not just, in home, and knowing that your wife is never ever gonna check her mother? And every time you're in a relationship, have an issue in your marriage, when you have drama, you have a problem, you have a fight, her mom's gonna be right there in your business all the time, and your wife is never gonna put her in her place. Your wife is never gonna check her. And there are children involved in the situation. They both have children from previous relationships. So again, I ask that question: is how would you tolerate a woman you want to be with and you want to marry, but she allows her mother to disrespect you? And I notice a lot of females are saying, because like women don't respect men like this, or who allow this to happen, because a lot of women are already talking about he must be gay or something like that because he's dealing with that. But that's just a deflection and not having him attack. Um, but they're criticizing him too for dealing with that. Now, some women, when I posted this question on a different page, they were saying like he must really love her to deal with all that. But I don't know. It's kind of it's a bit much for me. How would you tolerate that though? She puts her mother above you, and she disrespects you and allows her mother to disrespect you. Well, she's disrespecting you by not checking her mom and not putting her mother in her place.
That's just how I roll, and I'm sorry that y'all don't like it. Ooh. That was the Real Housewives of Atlanta scandal that was a hot topic here yesterday about a mother who doesn't approve of her daughter's fiance and is taking steps to tear them apart. And we have all three of them here today. Please welcome Mama Joyce Jones, Kandi Burruss, and Todd Tucker. So, I watched this episode of Real Housewives and I was tweeting all night. Now, Mama Joyce, you have been trending on Twitter for 2 weeks straight. This stuff, people really have an opinion. Now, you have made it plain that you do not care for your daughter's fiance, Todd. And, you know, and you, okay, so, you made it clear that you don't care for for Todd. Now, from what we've seen of Todd, he loves Kandi. He's got a great job that he loves. He seems like a really decent guy. What about him don't you care for?
You say he has a what?
Okay, all right, well, okay, okay.
We're getting a little bit low. That's a low blow off the bat, Mama Joyce. And listen, I understand that you and Kandi have had vastly more experiences than Todd and Kandi have. I mean, you were there from second one,
yes,
you know?
yes.
So I totally understand where you're coming from. But, I mean, just tell us some of the gripes that you do have, Todd. And
No, well, really, Todd seems like a very nice person. And when I met him, he seemed like a very nice person. But I had a problem with after his first job, which was doing the Kim and Croy wedding, he took like 2 months off. Now, I come from a family of men that worked.
Okay.
I had a problem with that,
Okay.
you know. And Also, I had, he said that he was using part of his savings, you know. And when you already, to me, stepping up, I feel like you don't need to use part of your savings to take 2 months off.
Well, let me ask you this.
That's just my part.
No, I feel you, but here's my question. Here's my question. You have a man in your life, right?
Yes.
Is she up in your business?
No.
Okay, now, you and I are minutes apart in terms of age. Okay, we're minutes apart. We don't have time for this mess. Let her make the mistake if she's gonna make the mistake. This ain't your, you gotta let her do it. You can't do this for her. She has to do it on her own. Now, maybe she made some early mistakes before you're trying to keep her from doing it again. But you know, because we listen kind of to our parents, but we had to make our own mistakes. She got to do it.
And Whoopi, I understand what you're saying. And it's not all about, if it was just Candy, I would agree with you. But Candy has a daughter. And if you would listen, and that's who I'm worried about.
But you know,
now let me, excuse me, let me say this. If you would listen to last week, week before last, Todd was on Andy's show.
Andy Cohen.
Andy
Watch
Cohen.
What Happens Live.
He mentioned his daughter. He mentioned about, they asked him, well, what do you think about the reactions that, the accusations that Mama Joyce have made about you and Carmen? He said, well, the only thing that bothers me is that, he had
Carmen
already
is
mentioned,
Candy's best friend.
The only thing that bothers me is the fact that Carmen has this lovely son. And I just hate what this is doing to her son and how this is affecting her son. But not one time did he say how this was affecting Riley.
Todd has got to respond, Mama Joyce. We do
to the
have
fiance,
to.
yeah. We've got to give him a chance to respond.
Well, I'm going to respond to the taking off of 2 months. First of all, I worked for True Entertainment, which produces
It's a production
Housewives.
company. Yes, we know
company for
True.
Housewives of Atlanta. I was what's called a line producer. So I managed $1 million budgets.
Yes.
I've worked with Tyler Perry. I worked with Oprah Winfrey. And when me and Candy fell in love and we were like, we're going to move forward with this relationship, I had to give up my job.
Yes.
So I gave up my job. I told True, hey, I'm seeing Candy. I'm going to be up front with you guys. And they said, hey, you know what? We don't want to stop working with you. We're going to give you the Kim Show. I took the Kim Show. The Kim Show was over.
Kim Zolciak, who was also on Real Housewives, yes.
After that show was over, as a freelance person, and this is the first time that I've gone without work, but as a freelance person, we put money to the side because there are days, weeks, months that you may go without work as you're looking for work.
That's right.
So in this new relationship in Atlanta, there's a lot of work in Atlanta, but also it calls for you to travel.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do the travel thing, so it did take a little longer for me to try to find work. But in the midst of that, I started my own production company, and I just got a show that was greenlit 2 days ago.
Right.
So I've been working.
You know, sorry, Todd, I don't want to say you threatened, but you basically gave Candy an ultimatum. Like, look, things have got to change or I'm out of here. Are you serious about that? Is that a real threat?
I think everyone has a breaking point. And, you know, the lies, that stuff is really tough. I have a mom, and it affects my mother. It affects my daughter. It affects Candy's daughter. The other day, Candy's daughter told Candy, I don't like that he said he would leave you. And really, that was just my frustration of the situation. I wasn't saying that to hurt her daughter.
Well, you know what? I want to give Candy a chance to talk because this is the most difficult thing for you because you're sitting between two people that you love dearly. Your mother, who will always be there, that's your family, and the man that you're ready to start a life with who loves you. And it's affecting you emotionally, and both people see it. What do you say about this? How are you dealing with this, Candy?
I did not want to cry today. Oh, I'm so mad at myself right now.
It's okay. This is hard.
I'm mad at myself right now. But anyway, it is very frustrating because it's like, you know, I love my mother to death.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
And I do feel like, you know, my mother has done a lot, you know, raising me or whatever. But I do feel like, Mom, you had kids too. When you were dating on the dating scene, your mother didn't interfere with your relationships. And
that you knew of. You were small.
okay, Mom, but you still were able to make your own mistakes. And I just feel like I'm not one of those kids that you had to go bailing out of jail. You haven't had to pay for anything for me since I was 16. And I just feel like you just treat me like I just am so stupid and I have no sense of responsibility. And I don't think that's fair.
I mean, for those people who don't know about Kandi, she was in the group Escape. She publishes, she writes, Kandi basically has an empire. She's got 5 boutiques in Atlanta. She's got a toy company. You're making tons of money. She's got an empire. What I'm saying is, and you've never gotten in trouble.
Laid in the bed and talked about.
But Mama, and with all due respect, you know, we've seen on this show that you have been involved. You know, we saw that. You got to clear this up. Did you spread rumors? Did you, because Kandi's best friend said that you said that Todd and her were more than friends. So did you say that there was a relationship going on?
And that's what one thing I would definitely like to
Gotta do it quick.
I will do it very quick. People call me. That's not nothing that I started. That's nothing that I started or set out.
We have to get out of here. Kandi, we hope that there'll be some healing and reconciliation.
Mama Joyce, he's a catch. Look at him. Come
I'm
on,
telling
Mama
you.
Joyce.
Yes, he